I would like to tell my migration story, and this is called the Promised Land. Born on a cold day in the state of Mississippi, raised in the Mississippi Delta by my parents and along with my 7 siblings. The Mississippi Delta was known to be the Cotton King and the home of the blues, down there where the blues was born. I roamed those dusty roads and went through the tall Johnson grass and through the cornfields. It was interesting growing up in Mississippi, and we used to watch that highway, Highway 61, runs north and south down through the Mississippi Delta. And we would look at the cars and the trucks and the buses rolling down old 61 and long for the day when I would be able to get up on one of those buses and go north. Times was difficult down there. The trees grew tall and stately, providing shade on a hot, sizzling day. We watched the banks of the highway where those flowers, wild flowers grew, the sunflowers and the wild daisies and the buttercups growing along the edge of the highway. Things was a little difficult at that time. We worked in the fields, the sun boiled down like a ball of fire. The work was back-breaking. Picking cotton was difficult. You could work all day for $3 chopping. $3 per 100, that meant you could make $9 for chopping cotton. I could pick 300 pounds of cotton, which meant I could make a big $9 working in the fields. Things was a little difficult during that era, and we worked hard and we had a strong faith. We went to church on Sunday, sat on the mourner's bench when the mourner's bench season came, and I remember being baptized down there in old Mississippi, standing in that line with a long white robe and waited to be baptized in Old Deer Creek. And I can hear those voices now singing, "Take me to the water to be baptized. Take me to the water to be baptized." Well, things was a little difficult, as I said. We went to school in October when the cottons and the crops were all harvested. But recess was a special time when we went to school back in those days. We got a chance to play those old games like Little Sally Walker sitting in the saucer. Rise, Sally, rise. Wipe your weeping eyes and put your hands on your hip and shake your hips. Find the one that you love the best. And we played other games, hide and go seek. Last night and night before, 24 blackbirds at my door. And I remember those times down there. But you know, finally the time came. 1955, I graduated from high school. And I was able to get on one of those old big Greyhound buses and head to the Promised Land. No sitting down in a vacant seat in the front of that bus. You had to go to the back, and we knew that. Walked all the way to the back and took my seat. Headed for the Promised Land. Oh yes, I arrived in the Promised Land. in Stony Island and got off of that bus. Went to live with relatives here. Started job hunting. My first job was over there at Spiegel. I was all hired, all ready to work. I had the nerve to ask the supervisor the next day when I went in if she could change my shift. She said, "Get out of here. You don't want to work." Now that job ended before it started. But I still continued to work, looking for a job. Finally, I did land a job with the Chicago Board of Education. This must be the promised land. And I worked for the Chicago Board of Education for about 27 years. And I forgot to tell you, you know what, in the meantime, winter time came to Chicago, and I was not prepared. I almost froze to death with that jacket. No boots, no scarf, and no heavy coat. But when I landed that job with the Chicago Board of Education, I remembered my grandmother always talking about those people who had come north and who had gotten those good government jobs. I had gotten one of those good government jobs where I could buy some shoes, a coat, boots, and gloves. I found myself in the promised land. Thank you.
All right.